Ladies and gentlemen, patriots, privacy purveyors, welcome back to the real dark side of the podcast. I didn't prompt this, so give me just a second. Thank you. That's what you get, man, when I wasn't quite ready.
You know what? I'm doing really well tonight. How are you?
You know what? I heard Shade is moving to bass. Little birdie put that out there, that Shade is moving to bass. So I guess the question,
this is what I've got for that one.
Yeah, and this is the question I got. How important was privacy to him? Because apparently if you're a whole Dex that you're focused on privacy is it. That's the thing that matters. And as soon as things start going bad, you pivot away. It kind of makes me wonder. Okay, maybe it wasn't about privacy. Maybe it was about something else. What do you think there, Bill? Is that it? Just about money?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I get that.
Yeah.
All right, folks. So look, man, all the big news right now, all the talk, all the everything is all around DC. It's all around the shakeup and the takeover. I know we're not quite centered here. I'm just catching it now, but I'm not going to get up and move cameras, man. Just deal with it. Belle and I were not quite talking, but we're about to. I was thinking how much fun it would be to redo the studio. And here's what I'm thinking. I want to put in a video wall right here, a big old video roll. And right here around the corner part, I want to put in a bar. And I want to do the stream from behind it. Because who always has the news? Who always has the rundown? Who always has the lowdown? And who always knows what's going on, Belle? The bartender. The bartender always knows what's going on. And yeah, it'd be nice because then I wouldn't have to wear pants anymore.
Well, okay, so the bartender is also, they really should be getting paid therapist rates because they have to sit there and listen to everybody's woes.
Yeah, they do. And you know what? For what it's worth, the 4 or 5 cents that we're going to make on this, because we don't make any money on this, it'd be worth it. I think it'd be pretty cool. And call to action. I'm going to start right now, guys. Change up the audio. I would love to hear some feedback. Do you like it more? Do you like it less? Can you even tell that we actually changed up the audio, because we did do some pretty severe changes on the audio? Just love your feedback, man. Tell me if it's something that you can deal with, something that you can handle. If it's, we can always revert. But I made some videos today, cut out a couple shorts. I think I basically work for Sofa Ninja now. That seems to be what it is, because I'll just hit a text and a script will be there, and I'm like, got it, on it. So I think, this is weird, man. It's like I did become Ron Burgundy, and it's always been a lifelong goal of mine, Belle, is to become Ron Burgundy, and here we are. What do you think about that, Belle?
You know what?
I'm having such a good time. I'm having such a good time already today. We're gonna get to DC. All right, look, man. You don't think I have opinions on this? You don't think I have strong opinions on what's going on in DC? And honestly, man, look, they ain't going hard enough. I'm saying that they ain't going hard enough. And I'm going to cite it down something very, very simple that I don't think people seem to grasp. They don't quite understand. We'll get to it. I got my monologue, guys. I'm tuned up. I'm heated up. Yeah, I want to hear from you. All right, I want to hear from you. We're not here to talk at you. We're here to talk with you. But some of the safest places, the crime is the absolute lowest that you're probably ever going to see it, where there are lots and lots of people, is on a U.S. military base.
Typically, yeah.
Yes, there is very, very low crime. Tons of military people here. I'm a military guy. Very, very low crime. We just don't have it. DC has the absolute same authority to police their own area as the military does to police theirs. That's it. And I'll get into it. We're gonna I gotta wet my whistle here. Go ahead, Belle. Do you got anything yet before I go?
Yeah. Okay. So you were sitting there saying, okay, well, you're working for Sofa Ninja now.
It seemed to be, yeah.
Did you just shove me into the HMFIC position?
Yeah. I think I did. I mean, anybody sends me anything, I read it. I mean, that's okay. I'll read it.
Think you kind of did.
HMFIC, and I'm cool with it.
I think you kind of did. Thanks.
And I'm also well aware that we haven't been killing it with this new format, but guess what? We will. And you guys get to be here for the ride. So with absolutely no further ado, Scott's going to talk for a few minutes. I sure hope that you guys will stick around and let me get through this. So tonight we are diving into the topic. We'll just call it the topic that's stirring up quite a bit of conversation across our nation's capital and beyond: the recent federalization of Washington, D.C.'s local police force. Now, I know federalization might sound like bureaucratic jargon, but at its core, it's about shifting control. Who calls the shots when it comes to keeping our streets safe in this unique city that's both a local community and the seat of federal power? Now, I'm going to aim to keep this very, very balanced, even though I know which side of the fence I'm on, but I'm going to be drawing from history, facts, and perspectives from all sides, because in a divided time like ours, and you got to admit, guys, this sucks, understanding the middle ground is really, really key. So we're going to cover the history of DC's police, how we got to this point, and the potential impacts, both the upsides and the downsides. So let's unpack this thoughtfully. Now, first, don't leave. I got you, babe. All right, I got you. A bit of backstory on Washington, D.C. itself, because to grasp today's changes, you really need to know where it all started. Now, although we have the most intelligent audience in anywhere in the broadcasting universe, I still have to say it. D.C. isn't a state. It is a federal district carved out in 1791 from land donated by Maryland and Virginia to serve as the permanent home of the U.S. government. The founding fathers wanted a neutral spot, free from state influence, for Congress and the president. But that meant that D.C. residents didn't get the same self-governance as folks in Baltimore or Richmond. For much of its early history, Congress ran the show directly, appointing officials and making decisions on everything from schools to sewers. Now, policing in D.C. has evolved right alongside that. In the city's infancy, around 1802, when its original charter was approved, police authority was centralized under the mayor and city council. But it was pretty basic. Think night watches, constables, patrolling to prevent fires and maintain kind of order. These were volunteer or part-time roles. This wasn't even a professional force. As the city grew, especially with the influx of people during the early 1800s, the need for something more structured became real clear. But it wasn't until the Civil War loomed that things got formalized. In 1861, with the nation on the brink of division and D.C. vulnerable as the Union's capital, President Abraham Lincoln pushed Congress to create a proper police department. On August 6th of that year, the Metropolitan Police Department, or the MPD, was born. It was established by an act of Congress, funded federally, and overseen by a board of commissioners appointed by the president. Now, this was no accident. DC's police were designed from the very start, to protect federal interests, guarding government buildings, diplomats, and the president himself, while also handling local crimes. During the Civil War, MPD officers even helped defend the city against Confederate threats. For over a century after that, control stayed largely federal. From 1871 to 1973, D.C. was governed by a three-commissioner system, all appointed by the president, with the police chief reporting to them. It was efficient for national security, but it left locals feeling like second-class citizens without a vote in their own backyard. Now, that changed in the 1970s amid the civil rights movement and calls for home rule. In 1973, Congress passed the District of Columbia Home Rule Act, which took effect in 1975. This law finally gave D.C. an elected mayor and city council, transferring day-to-day authority over local matters, including the police, to civilian leaders chosen by residents. The MPD chief now answered to the mayor, not directly to the White House or Congress. It was a big step toward democracy for D.C., though Congress retained ultimate veto power over the district's laws and budget. For the last 50 years, that's how it's worked. Local control with federal oversight, especially during national events like inaugurations or protests. Now, fast forward to today, August 11th, 2025, today. President Trump has invoked a little-known provision in that same 1973 Home Rule Act to declare a crime emergency in D.C. and federalize the MPD. So what does that mean exactly? Essentially, he's placing the local police under direct federal control, allowing the Attorney General to direct MPD officers for what the administration calls federal purposes. Now, alongside this, he's deploying up to 800 members of the D.C. National Guard to support law enforcement efforts. The stated goal, tackling what the White House describes as rampant crime, carjackings, thefts, and violence that's plaguing the city. Now, supporters argue it's necessary because D.C. isn't just any town, guys. It's home to the Capitol, to the White House, embassies. So public safety there has national implications. But let's be real clear. Again, I'm calling this right down the middle. This isn't unprecedented, but it's rare, and it is controversial. Presidents have used federal forces in D.C. before, like during the 1968 riots after Martin Luther King's assassination, and more recently amid protests. But fully federalizing the local police flips the script back to pre-Home Rule days. Critics, including some congressional Democrats, what a shock there, Mo. Democrats are bitching. Ooh. And local leaders, they call it an overreach, pointing out that crime stats in D.C. have actually been declining in recent months, with homicides down and property crimes stabilizing. They worry. It's more about politics than policing. So, what impacts could this federalization have? Now, let's break it down fairly, both sides, because we're all reasonable people, and reasonable people can disagree here without demonizing each other. However, if you have a go at me, I'm going to demonize you, babe. That's my job. On the positive side, federal control could bring more resources and coordination. DC's police forces already stretched thin, with about 3,500 officers for a city of 700,000 residents, plus millions and millions of tourists and commuters. Now, by integrating MPD with federal agencies like the FBI, the Secret Service, Park Police, there might be better intelligence sharing, faster response times, and access to national funding for things like body cameras, training, or even hiring additional officers. Now, proponents say this could finally crack down on crime hotspots, making neighborhoods safer for families, businesses, and visitors. And since DC hosts so many federal events, having a unified command could prevent chaos during protests, during threats, avoiding repeats of incidents like January 6th. Some residents, especially in high crime areas, they welcome this. Polls show mixed reactions, with some calling it a necessary step to restore order. But there are some potential downsides to consider, and I think they're worth weighing very, very carefully. All right, very first, it erodes local democracy. Now, DC fought hard for home rule, and this move sidelines the elected mayor and council who know their communities best. Community policing, building trust through neighborhood officers. They might suffer if decisions come from afar, potentially leading to a more militarized approach. Now, we've seen with our own eyes, some of us have been there. We've seen how National Guard deployments can escalate tensions, as in past protests where tear gas and rubber bullets drew criticism for overkill. Civil liberties groups worry about increased surveillance or profiling, especially in a city that's majority black and has a history of racial disparities in policing. Now, if federalization becomes a tool for political ends, say targeting certain groups, certain events, it could set a dangerous precedent, blurring the lines between local law and national agendas. And economically, businesses might hesitate to invest if the city feels unstable, while tourism could dip if perceptions of heavy-handed security take hold. Now, moreover, the legality is being debated in real time. Now, while the Home Rule Act does allow the president to commandeer MPD in emergencies, some experts argue this crime emergency doesn't meet the threshold, especially with data showing crime trends improving. Lawsuits are already brewing, you bet your ass, and Congress could step in to override it, but that might take months. It might take years. Now, in the end, folks, this federalization highlights D.C.'s awkward status, a place where local lives intersect with national power. It's a reminder. It's a reminder that while history shows us federal control can provide stability in crises like in 1861, it also risks undermining the self-governance won in 1975. Now, perhaps, path forward is compromise. Use federal resources to support, not to supplant, local efforts. Bolster MPD with grants and partnerships, but keep accountability in the hands of DC's elected leaders. That way, we protect both our capital and our principles. So, as always, guys, I want to know what you think. Should DC push for full statehood to avoid these tug of wars? Or is federal oversight inevitable in such a vital spot? Let's discuss this civilly. All right, that's the American way. So, Bell, where are you at on this? I'll go big screen. I'm going to get you back up here. Where are you at on this? Because obviously I have opinions.
I think the one thing that concerns me most of all, the federal government does a few things well. Number one being blowing up stuff. I mean, let's face it.
We blow shit up. That is what they are really, really good at. Yep.
But anything else that the federal government has tried to do, even if it's for their own good, they tend to not do very well. I mean, look at what's happening with healthcare.
Oh,
I mean, come on.
with healthcare, with anything. I'll tell you the most terrifying thing I think they're doing is trying to regulate AI. I think that is one of the scariest things that I've ever heard coming out of DC is exactly that they're going to step in and regulate AI.
And that's going to be the birth of Skynet. Just saying.
Here's kind of my issue. Yes, the Home Act did pass. Yes, it's been under civilian control for about 50 years. 1975, that's when it kicked in. So about 50 years. And in 50 years, it's basically become an unlivable hellhole. So maybe it is time to get in there and affect some real change. Now, the federal government, and particularly the National Guard, military, anything like that, man, we are not scalpels, all right? We are a broadsword. We are a two-handed massive axe. They don't do anything subtly.
No.
So what are the people going to say? Now, everyone's got an option. That's the joy about living in America.
Well,
if you don't like it here, you can go somewhere else. There is no problem there whatsoever. So I'm kind of curious which direction they're going to be going. Now, look, there is no debate There is no debate on if this is legal.
No,
it is
it's legal.
Absolutely legal. Everything he's doing right now is absolutely legal. Should it happen? Is this the time? Now, this has something to do with Musk's kid that got his ass beat out there. Big Balls. That was going to help that girl and just got his ass whooped. I mean, we saw the video. It was horrifying. So maybe it is time. Maybe it is time. Maybe that was the catalyst that we really needed up there. And I noticed that most of the opposition to this are most likely people that haven't had a gun pointed at them or been mugged yet. But you give it time. You give it time out there, and it's absolutely going to happen. So
I'm honestly thinking, okay, because DC is neutral ground, neutral territory. At least it's supposed to be.
It's supposed to be, yep.
I think maybe they need to have the National Guard doing visible drills more regularly. Let's see where that goes, and then based on the results.
There's been Humvees and 50 cals sitting out there in D.C. ever since 9/11.
Oh, I know.
They have been there the entire time. If you go over there, I avoid it like the plague, man. I want nothing to do with that place. All right, you guys, I'm not a big fan of the feds anyway. Why would I go visit? But they've had sometimes, duty calls, job responsibilities, all that stuff. So sometimes you have to go to D.C. I don't like it. Can't wait to get out of there. It is dangerous. It's terrifying. And yeah, I don't want to spend a hell of a lot of time there. So maybe the argument is, we need a broadsword. All right. You tried the scalpel. For 50 years. How did it work? Bell, where does D.C. rank as far as murders per capita? Murders per capita. I'm drinking the hard stuff tonight, guys. We got the Jack Daniel's battery acid, so I'm gonna fumble a couple words. Give me a break there. But where does DC rank, Bell? I want to make sure that I'm on. Bell, where does DC rank as far as murders per capita? Let's see how the scalpel's been working.
DC is actually ranking number 1 as far as murders per capita go.
Number 1? How is that possible? It's the seat of the federal government. It is such a good, calm, cool place. That's where you want to be. Are you telling me it's number 1 murders per capita?
Yeah, so, at least as of the end of 2024.
Well, I'm sure Chicago's fighting to get on up there. But
actually, they're further down the list than you would think.
I would have thought it'd been Chicago. Probably something in Mississippi. There's a lot of shit goes down there. No?
Close, but not quite. Louisiana.
Oh yeah, New Orleans. New Orleans is gonna skew anything. It's gonna skew anything down there. It's funny because if you took New Orleans out of the equation, Louisiana's a nice place. It's a very nice place to live. Not a lot of crime. People are happy. So,
but DC, it's a rate of 24. murders per 100,000 people.
Oh my God, that's shocking.
Louisiana is coming in at 23.7
well,
murders
you know what? Louisiana,
per 100,000 people.
You guys got to pick it up. All right, DC is leading the pack right now. You don't want that to happen. All right, we're going to carry on this conversation. I talk longer than I meant to. I apologize for that, but this is important. All right, this is precedent. This is everything, and we do want to talk about it. But Bell, whatever, please take questions that are relevant to the discussion, and then we'll get to comment. So go ahead and serve them up.
G. Torres, Scott, why not just make it easy for anyone in DC to bear arms? Government loves taking advantage of crisis and making more power for themselves.
Babe, do I really have to answer that question? It's like 93% Democrat. It's like 93% Democrat. I don't think DC has not swung votes for, and I think they even get some electoral votes. I don't recall off the top of my head, but I'm sure they do. They never vote for Republicans, man. You get Democratic rule. You get exactly what you voted for. This is exactly what you wanted. And say what you want, but Democrats have not really been aggressive in supporting the Second Amendment. They simply have not. They want the guns, but they want them on their side, not on your side. So, no, man, you're never going to see shit like that. Supreme Court even weighed in and said, look, you can't just simply do this blanket. They just make it so difficult and bang you up with so much bureaucracy that you give up. So, no, man, you know damn good and well why. because they're simply not going to let it happen. Guns are for authority. All right. They're not for the people who pay for it. They don't want any of that shit. Bell, carry on.
All right, new type. Whatever brings us closer to a Sylvester Stallone Judge Dredd society, I'm here for it. Can we combine that with RoboCop?
I think that'd be great, man. You know what? Replace all of the Humvees with ED-209. That's what should be patrolling our streets is ED-209. And I know you guys, at least anybody who's over the age of 20 knows what ED-209 is. That's what we need. That's what we need. All right, if you're smoking in a no smoking and this guy pulls up, you will extinguish that cigarette immediately or there will be consequences. You're going to put that shit out. All right, you ain't messing around. It's, oh, Jesus Christ, ED-209s are. Yeah, they need something like that, man. So, no, and while I appreciate the Judge Dredd, I'm going to break your heart here, bro. I love the question. I'm going to break your heart here. I like the remake better than the original. I liked the remake better than the original. I had a lot of fun with that. What's his name? Keith Urban? Not Keith Urban. Urban. Guy who played
Kiefer Sutherland?
No. The guy who played Judge Dredd in the remake. It's something. Carl Urban. Wonderful job, man. And I think he was absolutely welded into it. So, yeah, me and you, bro. We're there. All right, Bell, go.
All right, so Fisherman, didn't the FBI catch the mayor smoking crack on video?
Oh, dude, that was a long time ago, man. Come on. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, man. Politics have shifted so far. There was a time that the only thing that would really destroy you politically was being caught with a live boy or a dead girl in the trunk. That was pretty much it. That was the only thing that was going to destroy you politically. And now we're actually kind of cool with that, too. So, no, man, let them smoke crack. They don't give a shit. They're not going to prosecute themselves. Everybody out there has dirt on everybody else. And if you go after one guy, he's going to just dump the dirt on you. And it is what it is, man. The world keeps spinning. So, and yes, the DC mayor was caught live smoking crack with prostitutes. Every damn thing that was wrong with that city was on display right there. Everybody forgave it. It's like it never happened. Bell, carry on.
G. Torres, can we trust the Democrats with this power when they take office? Don't get me wrong. I don't think Republicans nor Democrats should have control over a police force.
No, you know, I was listening to a speech by Beto O'Rourke, which is funny because they put so much power and like authority and like he's a flag bearer. The guy cannot win any kind of federal election, man. He gets smoked every single time, but he's still the little whipping boy or the mouthpiece for like the Democrats. And I listened to a speech. It about 30 seconds of it. I clipped it out. I saw it over on Twitter. It was the same thing. They're telling you what's going to happen. They are literally telegraphing it. When we get control, we're going to hit the gas like it's never been hit before. Everybody here is going to become a citizen. Their families are going to become citizens. Their distant cousins are going to become citizens. When that happens, and it will. Eventually it will. When it happens, America as you know it is going to cease to exist. It's going to hand it over permanently to Democratic control. And if you want to see what 40 years of Democratic control does, take a look at Detroit. Take a look at D.C., take a look at Chicago. Take a look at New Orleans. We can go on and on this, guys. That's what you're going to get. And really, there's no real stopping it. It'll happen eventually. One more and we're going to take a break.
Bradley Coe, how many are hits talking about the per capita murder rate?
How many of them are hits? Oh,
yeah.
God, I didn't even consider it. No, that's a good question, bro. Look, a round of applause
I
for
don't
that
think they're publicly reporting those stats. I will say that mysteriously only 38% of those murders in 2024 that took place, and the number that was reported was 185, which is a reduction from 2023.
Yeah.
But out of that 185 murders that were reported in DC, only 38% of them have been solved.
Oh, God, even 38% is... Yeah, you know what? Honestly, if you're going to do a murder, do it there. All right? Odds are good. There's so many. They're understaffed. They don't have time, and they're probably not going to catch you. So anyway, guys, if you could, Bell, we'll get right back to that. I had a part 2 and a part 3 that I was going to roll through different subjects, but I want to keep talking about this one because I don't think we've really scratched it. I want to hear from you. All right, give me your viewpoint so that I can either agree with it or counter it. You know that's kind of my thing. That's what I like to do. I don't know if we got any feedback on the sound. I did do some serious tweaks on this, so I just want to see, did we get rid of the rest of the noise? Is it better, more pleasant, too much bass, too much treble, too much mid? Tell me so that I can go ahead and tweak it up. But we're going to take a little break here. So that means I get to drink and hit my little electronic cigarette because I'm that guy. And we're going to be right back with the podcast right here on the KPOD network, guys. Please stand by. I don't know what song's coming. Ladies and gentlemen, Patriots. I didn't hit the button, man. Sorry.
Yeah, I take it all the time.
It says battery acid. Shit, I'm drinking. Bell, give me a break there. Ladies and gentlemen, Patriots, privacy purveyors, welcome back to the podcast. Round of applause for all of you for tolerating me on this. I certainly appreciate it. If you like what we're doing here, man, like, share, subscribe, tell your friends. We are growing, and we're growing for a very specific reason. It's going to segue into our next topic, but I want to finish this one up, Bell, because I still got some serious opinions here. I'm going to go big screen for this one, and we'll get back to your chat. Trump needs to do this, and he needed to do this a long time ago. Somebody needed to do this a long time ago. It is a shit hole for anybody who's actually been there in real life. You could not believe that is the seat of federal power. Let me tell you something. Absolute fact here, guys. Absolute fact. There are 3 districts that are like this, that are absolutely sovereign from anything else that happens in these countries, nations, whatever. It doesn't matter. There are 3 of them. One of them's called the Vatican. And I'm sure you guys have heard of the Vatican. They have their own police force. They take care of business inside their secured land. The second one, it's called Buckingham Palace. I'm sure you've heard of that. Same thing. They are not under anybody else's jurisdiction. They take care of their own business. And the third, and this is planet-wide, is called Washington, D.C. So the fact that you turned over the policing, law enforcement to a civilian meaning non-federal, agency and let them just go ahead and run it for 50 years, and they ran it right into the ground. A broadsword is necessary here. A broadsword is the only thing that is going to bring this around. That's it. If you got a problem with it, now, tough shit. It's legal. They're already drawing up the lawsuits. I get it. Congress is already rattling their sabers, and I get it. But for the next 30 days, under law, he can do this, and he is doing this. There comes a time where you got to scrape it off. I think this is the time. I am in full agreement with this. I think it was necessary. We should have did this 20 years ago. Nobody had the stones. Trump does. You know why? Because he has a gift. He has the gift of not caring what people think about him. They don't care. He doesn't care. He's a lame duck. He's not running again. It really doesn't matter. This is the chance that we've always wanted to be able to clean up some of this mess. And it's not going to come around again. Not in my life. This is it. This is the one shot. So yeah, he needed to hammer the hell out of it. And I'm looking forward to seeing how it shakes out. Bell.
All right, Fisherman. It's hurting federal hiring. I lived there in the late 2000s. It wasn't fun.
No, and has it gotten better? Do you think that it's gotten better since you were there to where it is now? Bell literally gave you the numbers. Don't believe her? Fact check. But you're gonna waste your time because we just pulled them. All right, we're not those kind of people.
I mean, literally, if you were looking at the historical graphs of of crime overall, because you can break it into categories. Okay, if you are looking at the graph for murder, it goes until about 2000, and it goes boop.
Yep, and then it spikes because we gave up accountability.
Yeah, it went up, and then it has been coming down, but there is a slight uptick as far as things like burglary and armed robbery go. And the stats for 2025 are not going to be released until the year ends, and we get all of those numbers.
And the funny part is that they're measuring these in like 5 and 6 and 7 year gaps. It's like we forgot about COVID. Nobody could fucking go outside. Yes, the crime stats are going to go way, way down during that because nobody's outside.
But during COVID, those numbers actually ticked up.
That's almost impressive.
I know.
You know what? I'm going to give that a round of applause for a very, very aggressive criminal. They said, I don't care about your lockdown, and I'm going to do it. That's kind of funny. You think that they're going to honor it.
You know what? Maybe a lot of those people lived with roommates that they got sick of and just, decided enough is enough. I'd rather go to jail.
Sure, and it could be that. All right, Belle, carry on.
All right, so Deep House Nation. In my honest opinion, there are more thieves per capita on Capitol Hill than the worst areas of Capitol Ave, but at least the politicians don't rob me with pistols.
There's that. And I'd have more respect for them if they did. All right, look, man, don't be a man. Don't be a pimp. All right, don't use your police force to come and rob me on your behalf, man. At least man up, grab a pistol, come point it in my face, and let's see how it works out for you. I got more respect for the criminals than I do for the politicians, man, because they don't even take the risk. They just get all the rewards.
You know what? I guarantee you, if you ask nicely, at least the hardened criminal will use lube while they're trying to bend you over.
There is that. All right, carry on, Belle. Back on point.
All right, so Sofa Ninja. Crime is actually down in 2025. Supposedly, not all of the numbers have come in yet. So why are we sending in the troops to D.C.? Is Trump wanting to speed up the reduction?
Maybe. I don't know, man. You're asking me about to know the mind of Trump, bro. Nobody knows the mind of Trump. The summer of love really didn't quite kick off in the DC area as much as it did in all the rest of them, but we got time. I think the funniest part is that t-shirts are already printed, signs are already made. This wasn't even announced till this morning, but it was less than an hour after it was announced that formal protests went up, well-organized protests went up. They had t-shirts, they had signs, they had everything, and they were ready to roll. Almost like they knew that this was coming, and clearly they did. Because if you want to keep a secret, you can't tell anybody on Capitol Hill. Anybody. But it got out. Word leaked. It's there. Protests are already up there and happening. So, you know what? Almost, bro, Sofa, it's almost just political theater at this point. People want to come off. Maybe he just wants to say that, yeah, I am a strong man. I'm going to do what I want. It could be that. Whatever it is, it won't be enough. I'm just going to leave it there. As somebody who's been there, who's done work there, it ain't going to be enough, Belle.
I have a different take on that one, though.
I love to disagree.
I think part of this response, literally, I think Trump knew that kid that got assaulted, that got the ever-loving crap beat out of him for defending a girl, and I think this is entirely reactionary, and he has lost his shit over that assault.
And it very well could be. You know, I still think the whole Elon Musk Trump breakup was pure theater. I don't believe that was real. Not even close. I think they were playing the media. They were just, watch us. Hey, watch it here. Hold my drink, Belle. Watch us. And Elon makes a tweet and the whole world explodes. It wouldn't surprise me even a little bit.
I think that was hey, hold my booze.
And watch this. So no, for all I know, Elon tweeted Trump and said, man, look, can you please do something about this? One of my guys just got the shit kicked out of him for trying to do the right thing. What can you do? And Trump said, okay, I got this.
Well, again, I think it's entirely likely that Trump knows the kid.
And I'm sure they've met. I mean, Jesus, he was one of Elon's handpicked guys. So that wouldn't surprise me a little bit. All right, back on point. Go.
All right. So, G. Torres, can they do this to other states, though, or just D.C.?
No, and that's where it gets real interesting, man. Look, in the Constitution, it's literally in the Constitution, bro. I'm not gonna read it verbatim, man. Look, anybody can Google this. But federal troops, federal police forces have authority in federal locations. Would people be saying this if this had happened on a military base, whether it's CONUS or OCONUS? Would people be saying the same thing. They would not. But the federal government has the same authority in the District of Columbia as they do under anything that is considered sovereign federal soil. And that means military bases, arsenals, nuclear missile compounds.
Embassies.
All right. The feds have absolute and complete total control. DC's no different, man, because it is federal property, direct federal property. The whole civilian force, man, that was just a nod to shut people up. That's all it was. But DC belongs to the feds. Now, you guys know that I am no fan of the federal government. When have I ever came out and defended anything that they've done? Never. I am no fan of it. But if they are exercising their constitutional powers, their specific enumerated powers, you'll never hear me gripe, because it's literally in the Constitution. There's a process to change it if you don't like it, and it's never happened. These things have never been changed. Therefore, we all agree with it. You can't have it both ways here, man. You can't have it both ways. So they're going to bitch, they're going to ruffle their feathers, they're going to polish their axes, they're going to do all that shit. But at the end of the day, he's not doing anything illegal. Nothing. So I say here, man, chow down. If it was happening anywhere but DC, nobody would say a word. But because it's DC, all of a sudden now it's an overreach. Oh, carry on.
All right, Bradley Coe, isn't DC basically a country unto itself?
Yeah, I think I just explained that. The Vatican, Buckingham Palace, and DC. All right, these are sovereign nations unto themselves. They can do what they want in there. It is.
I would describe it more of a U.S. territory, because in DC can vote in U.S. elections, so it's more like Puerto Rico.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
That isn't considered an actual state, but still operates under, federal oversight.
If the feds did this in Puerto Rico, you got a right to bitch. Oh, yeah, and I'll be there with you. You got to be shitting me on this one. But D.C. is literally their land. It is in the Constitution.
That's the big difference is, that land is specified as being federal unlike Puerto Rico.
Absolutely.
So Puerto Rico actually has more ability to do what they want than DC does.
Yes, DC didn't even have the right to self-governance. All right, that was a nod to the civil rights movement. 1975, we just gave you the history, man. Don't believe me, fact check me, but I promise you we're right on this one. They didn't even have the right to self-govern because there was nothing to govern. Because this is a thing, people on bases don't vote. All right, we don't vote. Who's the base CO? His word is law, and that's it. But I don't know. It's only here that it's different. Anyway, carry on, Bill.
That was actually the last one for the moment.
Beautiful. Do you want to talk this up, or can I hit my very last subject of the day?
I'd say let's move on to the next subject.
All right, guys. So, as you know, there's something that's very, very important and near and dear to my heart, to Belle's heart. I hope to your heart. And if it isn't, give me some time, man. I'll get you fixed. So this is something that most people still think is a fringe issue, but it's quickly becoming one of the biggest defining battles of our lifetime. And that is digital privacy and the growing overreach of government in the online space. Look, here's the problem. Are you listening, Jason? Are you listening? Here's the problem. Every one of us is creating a constant stream of data. We're talking locations, conversations, purchases, search history. And the systems that collect it are more interconnected than most people realize. Now, I know you've heard the argument, I have nothing to hide. That is the absolutely most dangerous mindset that you can have in the digital age. Privacy isn't about hiding wrongdoing. It's about protecting yourself from abuse, from profiling and manipulation by people or institutions that you do not control. Government agencies have been steadily expanding surveillance powers for decades. every time there's a crisis, there's a new justification for more monitoring, more data retention, and more tools to track your every move. And here's the kicker. Those powers never get rolled back once the crisis passes. Let's not forget, the same data that's safe today can be used against you tomorrow if political winds shift, if leadership changes, or if that data is sold or leaked. The NSA, the Patriot Act, the FISA court abuses, all of these were once called temporary or emergency measures. Private companies aren't innocent. They're in the business of collecting as much data as possible. And you know why? Because data is money. That's why the line between corporate surveillance and government surveillance is almost non-existent. They share, they sell, and they integrate their systems. So, what's the solution? Very first thing, you have to realize and recognize that this isn't paranoia. This is reality. Second, start limiting your data footprint. Use encrypted communications. Store files in systems that don't scan or sell your information. Disable location tracking unless you really, really need it. And finally, we need to stop rewarding companies and governments that normalize mass surveillance. Privacy is not a niche issue anymore. It's the foundation of freedom in the modern world. Now, if we don't defend it now, we might never get another chance. And with the advent of AI and the complete and total capitulation of everything about us to the machine, do you honestly think it's going to get better? Do you think it's going to get cleaner? Do you think it's going to get safer? It has nothing to do with I have nothing to hide. It has everything to do with the Fourth Amendment of the United States of America. Belle, would you like to weigh in on this? I'm more than happy to just leave that out. Jason, if you want to cut that, put it out, bro. Very, very proud. Believe every single word. But Belle, go ahead. You want to counter me? Counter me. Go for it. Belle's not quite on the same level as I am.
You know, I'm one of those people that typically doesn't give a crap what you know about me. Typically.
Nothing to hide.
I said typically.
Yeah.
I don't feel like it is necessary to have federal oversight, federal noses poking into my animal's vet records or, the general wisecracks I make on social media. Yeah, there is nothing about me that is a threat. There are some things that I would prefer to talk to friends and family about without having to worry about Big Brother looking over my shoulder. Again, the federal government, actually nations worldwide, they don't do a lot well. They do, here in the U.S., they do one thing extraordinarily well, and that's blow shit up.
See, but, Belle, I do have things to hide. And you know what I have to hide?
Again, you shouldn't have to worry about Big Brother looking over your shoulder either.
These are the things that I have to hide. Fucking everything. Because it's not your business. Because you have no writ to put that kind of surveillance on me. You don't have a judge's approval. Nobody signed it. Specific place and specific thing to search. None of that occurred. Follow the fucking process. That's all I'm saying. But right now, you're not following the process. So absolutely, I have things to hide. Everything. Everything. Because it's none of your goddamn business. Catch me doing something that you consider illegal, and let's leave it up to the courts and a jury of my peers. But right now, I don't even have that. I don't even get that right to be seen in front of a jury. I am literally guilty before this shit even starts. And you know and I know that very few cases actually see the inside of a courtroom. They're settled well outside of it because they know if it goes to a jury trial, it's going to be long, it's going to be expensive, and I'm probably going to walk away. So they're going to make it as hard on me as they, you hear what he said? They're going to make it as difficult on me as they possibly can to force me to settle. To force me to settle or accept a lower level of sentencing before it even gets up there, and they have all of the strength and all the authority to do something like that. I am no fucking friend of that. None.
If they had all of this power, then my brother would not be out on parole right now.
But they do have all of this power, Belle. They absolutely do have all of this power.
They think they do, but they actually don't, because, again, if they did, then my brother would not be out on parole right now. I would not be looking out my windows, hoping like hell he doesn't pull up at my house.
He's just too far under the radar, Belle. He's not even worth the chase. But if they want you, if they decide you're a threat, there is nothing you can do to stop it. They have access to everything. Your bank records, your medical records, your purchasing records, your social media records, everything.
Which, again, I agree is too damn much. I'm an inherently private person. I don't put anything out that, I am not okay with being seen. Are my financial records part of that? No, I don't consent to that.
But your consent is not required.
And again, that's my problem. My bank records and my health records. Why on earth would the federal government be sticking their noses into my last pap smear?
Because they're allowed to. Because they're all in this. You know what? I'll go on and on about this one, guys. You hit my wheelhouse. Obviously, we've built a solution for your personal and private data. Honestly, man, look, I don't care if you use it. I would like you to. It's about ethos for me, giving out and giving you the right to hide your shit from everybody. But deep down anymore, I don't care. It's incredibly difficult to reach consumers. I'm incredibly jaded. On the very short amount of time that we've been doing this, between myself, between Jason, between Belle, I'm incredibly jaded, and honestly, I don't give a shit. All right, you wait for Big Brother to put that boot on the back of your neck, and by the time you get to that state, it's too late. All right, by the time you determine that you really need privacy of your data, it's too fucking late. All right, that's it. You're buying fire insurance after the house burned down. That's what you're trying to do. So I honestly don't care. We're still going to do fine. Enterprise, we're going to be there. We're going to be, yeah, I know. Biggest purchaser of a cash, biggest purchaser is a jackal. Nobody cares. But yeah, it's too late by then. Anyway, Belle, let's wrap it up.
All right. So G Torres, data is digital oil, as they call it, especially since most people give it away for free.
Yeah, and the whole system's designed to do that, man. Look, they make these terms of service so onerous that very few people are actually going to read them. They make them so convenient that you can't live without them, and they make those terms of service so onerous that you'll never fucking read them. But you are a data slave. I use the word. That's right. You're a data slave, because your only option is to not use the modern equivalent of the things that make your life so goddamn easy. But it is literally putting you in the box. So if you like living in there and you're comfortable with it, man, go with God, bro. I don't care. But if you want to maybe see that there's a better way, we're here. Belle, go.
All right. So, Sofa Ninja, they need to keep their hands off my stuff and quit spying on me under the guise of keeping me safe. No thanks.
It's never going to happen, bro. It's never going to happen, man. We are too far gone for this shit. We are way too far gone. And I want you to think about this, Jason. Think of it. His name's Jason. All right, he goes by Sofa Ninja. I'm doxxed. You all know I'm Scott. He's Jason. He works for us, so go fuck yourself. We're too far gone, man. And I want you to think about what's going to be possible with the way that AI is effectively doubling its ability like every 30 days. So whatever it was before, it's kind of funny, Bell. You know, I'll take you back here because I think this is very accurate. Is it a metaphor or an analogy? I don't know. I'm hammered right now. You can have one thing, Bell. Make the choice right now. I will give you $1 million cash, or I will give you 1 penny every day, and I will double it every single day. Make the choice.
I'll take the penny every day.
Yes, and you're going to walk away about approximately 5 times richer than you would have if you would have simply taken the $1 million. This is what AI is doing. This is how quick that this is growing and how much smarter it's getting every single day. Think about what it's doing now, and then think about what it's going to be doing a month from now. The surveillance state is here. 100%. I mean, 1,000%. It's way, way, way beyond it. So if you think that I'm going to tiptoe through the raindrops, baby, there ain't no raindrops. They see you like Predator looking for its next target. There he is. You can't fucking miss him. Anyway, carry on, Mel.
You know, I would actually pay to have Predator go into DC.
You know what? Arnold took him out. He's vulnerable. He bleeds. If he bleeds, we can kill it. That's right. I remember all this. Go, Bell.
Yeah, but okay. He's not an easy enemy to defeat. And yeah, how many of the problem children are able to stand up to him?
I couldn't answer that one. Go ahead, Bell.
All right. So, Deep House Nation, does anyone see the data centers and programs by Edward Snowden, WikiLeaks ending, and the government accepting defeat? It will take a revolution to turn this ship.
At least, bro. At least a revolution. Edward Snowden basically laid it all out for you. This is exactly what we're doing to you. The guy he's gone. All right. He's never coming back here again. It's so important to him that he was willing to give up his life, his sovereignty, his property, everything to at least get the word out. And what did we do with it? We said, oh, what a freak. Oh, look at this guy. We found a reason to demonize him instead of demonizing the thing that he was exposing. You think about that. That is a perfect example of how far around the bend we've gone. All right. We have crossed the Rubicon, and we are never going back. Not until everything shits the bed. We are never going back. Bell, carry on.
All right. Bradley Coe, none of the laws mean anything if they want it.
No, none of the laws mean anything if they want it. It's irrelevant, man. You don't think big tech and big government are in bed together? For fuck's sake, man. You can't grow this big without government support. You just can't.
The government pays a lot for the research big tech is doing.
Yeah. And, they're paying all these institutions, Harvard. We did a story on that. Nobody watched, but it doesn't matter. They paid grants to all of these higher, learning places to go ahead and do the research for them. They came out and said, sure, this is valuable. This isn't. Then the government steps in and says, sure, give us the research. It's absolutely nuts, man. You have no idea what is up against you. I mean, it is huge. It's too big. And the only way you can deal with it, let me tell you the way that you can deal with it. I'll even go big screen here. Anybody who's actually been in combat for any and I understand it's a shit metaphor, but I think it's accurate. Anybody who's ever been in combat, the battle is too big for you. It's too big for your mind. You can't process this. It is too much. You know that you're gonna die, and I'm absolutely serious here. You know that you're going to die, but it ain't gonna be that guy. That's how you deal with it. That's how you process it. It ain't gonna be that guy. I know I'm smoked. All right. I know I'm not walking away from this. My lights go out. My story ends right here. But it ain't going to be that guy. That's how you deal with something like the surveillance state that we're currently living in. I know I'm going to be completely 100% exposed. Everything I have, everything about me, everything I do, everything I say, it's going to be exposed. But it ain't going to be that guy that exposes it. The one little bit that you can take the one little action that you can take that gives you back just a little sense of privacy, a little sense of right here. It ain't going to be that guy. And until you can start recognizing that it ain't going to be that guy, you're just a victim, man. You're just waiting for your turn. Just the way I see it. Who knows? Bell.
All right, Bradley Cope. Man, they want to track all our biometric data 24/7 now. And isn't military tech at least 50 years ahead of what the general public sees?
Oh, dear God, no, bro. It is so far. It is so far behind. As somebody who's been in there, I'm going to give you a single word. And is Political still on? Because he would love this one. I'm going to give you a single word, bro. Jabber. All right, that's all I'm going to say. No, man, we are woefully behind what's actually happening out there, because you got to think about the layer of bureaucracy between invention, development, and distribution. You have to think about the layers of bureaucracy between the civilian world, who doesn't have to go through a whole lot of shit to get it out there, and the military, who has to go through so many different levels of testing and assurances and fact checking and source code and all that shit before it's ever delivered to the military. We are so woefully behind the civilian world, man. You wouldn't believe it if you went in there. If you went in there and actually went on a deployment or went on a mission and saw what's actually happening in there, you'd be like, how the fuck could we ever win a war? And that's what we think. That's what us military guys think most of the time.
So there is one thing that all branches of the military actually agree on, and that's that military grade is an insult.
Military grade is an absolute insult. And by the way, the food is as bad as you think it is. All right, Belle, carry it up. Let's lightning round whatever's left.
That was actually the last one.
Well, isn't that perfect? I'm going to do something. Don't leave. I'm going to switch seats. And Belle is going to talk us up. She's going to take us out. Lose the headphones, because you're going to have to move seats. You're going to hit this button right here, Belle. You see the one with the diamond on it?
I do.
You see that? We're going to be right back. Belle's going to talk us up, take us out. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. There you go.
All right. Again, ladies and gentlemen, for those of you who joined us this evening, we cannot say thank you guys enough. We do appreciate each and every one of you guys and the comments and questions you send our way. Now, we are going to be back on at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time tomorrow evening. In between now and then, if you guys have any other comments, questions, or concerns, definitely don't hesitate to reach out to either Scott or myself, Scott@thepodcast.com or Bella@thepodcast.com, and we'll get those answered for you. Again, we can't thank you enough, guys, and we'll see you next time.